I have no idea what it is with the VTuber community and like cheating and like people finding out about it and then talking about it. But apparently, we got another toxic VTuber that cheated on their relationship partner. I guess we're going to talk about it for, I don't know how long, we'll see, but
It takes two to
let's check it out.
tango. It's not just one person to be blamed in this. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's something from back then. It was something from back then. And it took them 2 years to come up with a tweet long. So, mom, I made it to the news.
Okay. Yeah, she's on the news.
Welcome back, my delinquents. Today we
Oh,
have a
brother.
more serious topic,
Okay.
an abuse topic, specifically manipulation and sexual abuse from a VTuber called Deathbloom. We had a document dropped about them abusing/manipulating multiple male VTubers at the same time as cheating on their long-term boyfriend, which turned into a disastrous stream of them downplaying this and then dropping their own document, air quotes, with the victim's nudes still attached to it, which is a
Okay. Now it's illegal because isn't that against the law? Isn't that called? What's it called? Hold on, don't tell me. I can figure it out. Damn, revenge porn. That's what it's called, right? That's crazy.
bit, at the very least, illegal, among many other things. I really wanted to take my time with this story as it is more serious of a topic, but also, as a lot of people point out, the victims are male and it's
I feel like every time we watch a video by her, it is a serious topic, and yet this bunny is still be throwing it back at the bottom of the screen.
important to show the same respect to all victims and their chance to be heard. If anyone wants to say anything about men or young boys not being able to get abused, air quotes or whatever,
No,
I just want to say,
no,
shut the
that
fuck
happens.
up, you
Yeah.
assholes. Okay? Like, shut the hell up. Abuse has no gender, guys. It can happen to anyone. And I'll keep the same standards no matter who it is. Now back to the story. You don't have to take my word for it. Let's get into the story so you can tell what happened. So this situation really pops up with KhunShawn releasing a document about information from, it starts 2 years ago, but I think it goes up to around 2023 from reading it, about the Deathbloom allegations and other victims. And then that turns into their VOD, which we'll go over, which their stream where they talk about the allegations, which goes very poorly, as we saw at the beginning of the video, and then turns into them writing a document because obviously that went terribly and they got even more backlash. But let's start with this document. This has been in the making for 2 years. Deathblooms must
2
be held
years.
accountable for her actions. This is mine and other experience with her. Okay, we're going to start off with the introduction and then we'll just go down. My name is KhunShawn VT. You might not know who I am, but I hope this doesn't make you discount the things I'm about to share with you about the VTuber known as Deathblooms. This has been a document that I've been putting off making for a very, very long time. I initially did not want to make a statement about my negative experience with her as I felt like it was a personal drama that I had to deal with on my own and would rather keep to myself so I could move on. I document off due to fear of me potentially being harassed by members of her community. However, with the recent knowledge I have gathered over the course of the past 2 years, I have no choice as now I am not the only victim. AKA, they're coming out because there's multiple people
There's more
with
people
complaints
that
about
are
death
hurt.
blooms and they want everyone to kind of know so they can avoid her at the very least. And they, again, and I would like to reiterate this too, don't harass people, don't do a witch hunt. This is information so other VTubers and other creators and other viewers can know what's happening and they can avoid people like this at the very least. On to the allegations. Deathbloom has used multiple male VTubers, including myself, in order to cheat on their potential former partner.
That's crazy.
Potentially former partner.
Potential former partner is wild.
So they had a former partner. There's multiple men that they cheated with, and they Deathbloom seemed to be manipulating them, lying to them, emotional abuse stuff. But the sexual abuse, I think I can say sexual on YouTube. The sexual abuse seems to be
Risky.
unsolicited nudes and asking for nudes and pre-pressuring into sexual activities. Okay. So those are kind of separated there so you don't get confused, because I saw a lot of people confused thinking, but just lying to you isn't sexual abuse, and that's not what they're referring to. They're referring to, the solicitation of nudes and sending nudes without permission or without asking, because guys, you are not supposed to send nudes unless someone asks for them. That's technically an assault. So don't do that. Don't send nudes to people unless they ask for them. Okay? It's pretty simple. Black and white on that one. During our flirting interactions, she never once gave me an indication she was poly or any form of non-monogamous. My experience. How do I know this? Back when Deathblooms and I periodically been very flirty and intimate aligned with each other, she was allegedly living with a roommate, air quotes. I was led to believe she had
Roommate.
dated for only 2 months. I was led on constantly by her as she kept insisting she wanted to date me and leave her bad relationship for me, but kept me at arm's length at the time. I started to get suspicious, so I had a friend look into her and try to see if my suspicions were confirmed. My friend ended up having a call with Blooms where they found out that she'd been dating her partner for almost 3 years.
That's a long time.
So we do want to, I am going to separate it into two lots, you know, the abuse and manipulation per se, because I know a lot of people get like wishy-washy when it's manipulation. I would say at the very least, let's not downplay this. This is scummy. Anyone who lies
Yeah, manipulation is bad. Abuse is just worse.
to someone to get sexual gratification or romantic stuff, scummy at the very least, and is manipulating someone and is, like a lot of people say, kind of emotionally abusive. Because you're kind of misleading people and, you know, destroying them emotionally.
Yeah,
So,
emotion.
but let's go into the messages. Yeah, that's why I've been confused and conflicted. Plus, she told me they were only dating for 2 months. What? She told me they have been dating 3 years. He's half German. They are visiting his family in Germany. Definitely sounds like a unhappy relationship. This is something that really peeves me off with a lot of cheaters, is that they always like, I'm in such an unhappy relationship. But no, they just want you to feel sorry for them. A lot of the time, there is like nothing wrong with the relationship, except, you know, when there's abuse. But usually it's just better to leave, as everyone agrees, no matter the situation, it's better to leave than cheat. Yeah, there can be reasons, but it is usually just better to leave. Afterwards, my friends would inquire with another person to gather more context, and they would come to find out this person was another victim of hers. Talking to right now, he and Blooms are apparently flirty about 8 months ago and talked about dating, but never actually dated, and he dislikes her a lot too. And this is going to go into something here, dislikes her a lot too. Death Bloom's one of the defenses in the VOD is that a lot of people hate her for no reason. And I'm not saying that's a definite red flag. If someone's like, a lot of people hate me for no reason.
No reason?
Yeah, guys, there's usually a reason. Because some people can hate you because of misunderstandings, or you came across each other at bad times. But when you're like, a lot of people hate me for no reason, it just also screams a lack of accountability for, like, those situations.
That's true.
After many attempts, she sent me this last message on Discord. Killer, I don't know what I did to you that you're ghosting me. I'm sorry if I've hurt you, but I wish you well and good luck with your donathon. Goodbye. Goodbye. This was one of the worst experiences of my entire VTuber career and left me genuinely scared to interact with other streamers. I genuinely liked her at the time and thought that we could have a relationship. While that might have been naive, I feel valid in faulting her for purposely leading me on in order to stroke her own ego. It took a lot of effort from friends to help me get back to a place where I feel comfortable getting close to others again. This is completely understandable.
That's
like
sad.
the first time, especially like online or in certain social situations where you're misled and manipulated, it can really like shake your foundation of what you think is a straightforward thing. Find someone you like, they like you back. Romance. But instead, there's lying, manipulation, and it's completely fine for that first experience, or even your second or third, to really like shake up how you view the world. Because realistically, every little trauma you have like this does change you as a person.
It does.
And it's understandable that they feel like this. Anonymous source has shared with me several victims of blasphemies have all agreed to remain anonymous for the sake of this document, and therefore have been censored. Even if you can figure out who these people are, I encourage you not to contact or spread their names around. These screenshots reveal a history of sexual manipulative behavior and unprofessionalism. They also indicate several instances where Death Blooms has cheated on her partner or has led people to believe she has no partner. Internet cheating tale as old as time. Unfortunately, stay safe, my brothers. First off, let me introduce you to Death Bloom's partner, not the dates as well. These posts are all made on public Instagram account that own and link to Death Bloom's other social media accounts. It takes surprisingly little effort to find. Seeing Death Bloom himself has put these around, I will keep these informations, but when we look at Death Bloom's one where they leak people's nudes, I will censor that. Just because even though you can find it, I would prefer not to be another source to accidentally find images they don't want out there. Let's leave it to them. Let's keep it private. So here is their partner, here is Death Bloom. This is Darcian, the mage, Death Bloom's partner of 4 years. Again, all of this public on her Instagram, but I decided to censor the name as a safety measure. On top of that, Darcian has made appearance on Death Bloom's stream before, so his name is not entirely unknown. Yep, as we will see in a bit, we will see him on her stream. He's even been in Facecam stream in 2021 dressed up as Lady Demonstrator. I can't say that.
Really?
Demonstrator.
Lady
You know who that
Demetrius.
is. Well, the Instagram is not incredibly active. Bloom still posts here from time to time. Latest posts were made in August 2024 and have been liked by Darcina, indicating that they are still together. But even if they are not, the dates show that they have been dating during the time she's been leading on other people. Now on to the victims. Anonymous victim 1. This is probably the most important one, as Bloom says specifically expects to this person that she would leave her partner for him. The evidence was gathered in October 2023, but this person time with death balloons happened in May 2023. We got some messages here of... Okay. Know how I hate reading messages. This is going to be rough.
Yikes.
Death bombs. Me, shorty, chubby me. I don't know what that means. Hun, I'm always be around. I'm yours. Yes, shorty, little you. Shorty, little you, I'm assuming. I know we will always be close, but you are still unsure. That worries me. No, nearly as much as my house or moving, but it piles up, or the fact that my fucking car just died. I'm sure it's the batteries. Maybe. We're fine. We're just gonna be fine. I also want your toy to be here. I'm so stressed I have not been horny at all, because my head still hurts. Alright, I want to ask for smexy time then. So, at the very least, I guess this kind of shows that they're all... She is, like, doing sexual activities online with these guys. I wish I could just instantly leave everything behind and be there. I do want you in my life, so I can't, though. And that is what you need to figure out, what you want. For now, I can't, because I need time. How you want to be. So take that time. Use your mind. Okay? I think I get the gist of that one. Sorry. I will ask for a last time. I thought I was bad at texting. Find what you want, and once you are done with all that, I will be here waiting as a friend, like I said before. If you don't mind, marks me, Axie, make it quick, I need to lay down. Alright, if I break things up, are you sure you want us? It is up in the air. Just figure out if you want to break up first. Don't think about me. You need to handle your boy first. And
I ain't gonna lie, that's really real for him to say, like, look, don't worry about what me and you got going on. Figure out what you got with him. That's the most important thing, because those two are together. Honestly, hey, that's really respectable of bro to do that, because there's some other guys out here that be like, oh no, just leave him. Only take me. I'll take care of you. Don't even worry about it. Like he's not good enough for you. I'm better. So, props to him for doing that. He really didn't have to.
foremost, don't use me as a tool to break it off with him. I'm not using you. Take the time to understand what you want. Really think on it. Please listen to me. I have feeling for you, and it's genuine. It's a big step for me to leave everything behind, my apartment, my family, my country. Are you sure you want us? I do what's to done with this month. Okay, I can't read that one. This is a thing, like, is pretty wise. If someone has a partner and they want to leave their partner for you, no, because it puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, like, to be honest, the reason why she's doing that, she's trying to find somebody better, right? There's a lot of women in this world that do this. There's some men that do it as well, right? They're with somebody, but they want something better, but they're not willing to break off what they have now because they want to guarantee that they can get something else. Sad.
And you never know if they really want to leave. So you should only leave someone because you don't want to be with them. Don't leave to be with someone else. Don't line up another boyfriend or girlfriend to move on. That is incredibly unhealthy. Obviously, it's unhealthy to be the mistress or the side piece guy, because you're going to end up really hurt, because it's just an unhealthy situation in general. That's nothing against this guy at all. That's just a little bit of advice in there. She is screaming red flags. What did I do? Yes. It's not about you, it's about me, how I feel. So do you not want to continue being friends? I'm sorry you feel that way. Why are you deleting messages? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not okay. I've felt this way for a long time. I'm stupid. It's stupid. I still want to be friends, but I understand if you don't. We just needed to wait till we meet. That's all I asked. I told blah, blah, blah. And everyone in the call made fun of me leaving. I don't know what that's about fully. It's a little too scuffed and censored. Only time will tell, but I want closure. You are not the only one here. I had feelings as well. I'm not asking you to leave everything. I know. I'm telling you to figure out your issue. And I will. Once you figure it all out with Dark, then talk to me. I'm tired of lingering in limbo. Which, he's asking the bare minimum. Work out your shit first. Work out your shit first, then bring me into it. You never want to be brought into someone's couple's problems. I will be...
Officer, do you live next to a highway?
Your friend until then, nothing more. I know who I am, what I want, where I'm going. Once you do the same, let me know. I'm happy we met, and that's why I want to stay friends. So I hope you have a great time on your trip, and stay safe until I wish you well. There we go. This is probably the best account I have, as these messages show Death Bloom's talking about leaving her partner for this victim. She also specifically talks about them being sexual with each other. Note the dates. The conversation happened literally 2 days before Bloom's left for her trip in Europe with her boyfriend and his family. 2 days before the vacation, she's talked to another man about breaking things up with Darcy to be with him instead. This is someone who, similar to me, was led on by death balloons. Much like me, he expected them to end up dating. She displayed behaviors like claiming this person as hers and acted jealous about him showing interest in someone else. The victim specifically was not aware that death balloon has a partner. Okay, guys, I want to outline here because a lot of people was going to point this out because I saw a lot of people pointing it out back and forwards. This is fucked up, obviously. Cheating is bad, manipulating people is wrong,
Yes.
etc. And it is close to emotional abuse, but technically in the law, it is not abusive or
To be honest, like legality versus morality, it doesn't matter. Like it's bad, point blank, period. It doesn't have to be illegal for it to be bad.
sexual abuse. Technically, I know it's annoying, but
yeah, straw
technically cheating is not abuse. I know it's annoying, but damn those pesky no fault laws. So I will continue to separate these, and I 100% what she's doing is wrong and immoral and bad in general. Like this is a bad thing to lead on multiple people and just manipulate them while obviously kind of having no one to actually leave your relationship. But I just wanted to make everyone aware before people scream in the comments about technically that I am aware of that and I will stick to what parts are
Technically.
100% abuse and what's manipulation. I would personally put manipulation as a form of abuse, but apparently some people don't. But yeah, so when I speak manipulation, for me, that's abuse. You can interpret it any other way you want. Personally, I think people take a little bit too much of a light hand with bad behavior like this. They're just like, oh, well, technically, it's not that evil. And I'm just like, well, technically, you're still an asshole. So do what you will. Everyone has their different standards on this. But honestly, I think we should be harder on this. We should be harder on this crappy behavior, honestly.
I think so, too.
It's like...
Yeah, I think it would be better for society if we didn't have people go around and just manipulate whoever they want just to get bigger and better in whatever it is, whether it's status or relationship or fame.
When people cheat or treat people like shit like this, we should call them out and say, you're an asshole, at the very least. Well, she used a claim as her little cub tomorrow. I can even send, she did that thing to my pup with a collar with her tag on it. She's really into that dog stuff. She has done it for at least a year. She did it with me, a few, and my friends, and even went as far as claiming us to an extent. Claiming us, oh no.
Claiming is crazy.
And I'm sorry if I get more fiery here. It is very humid and hot here in Oz, so I'm like dying because the aircon's off to record this. So if I get really riled up, I'm sorry, my brothers. I know I didn't post much on here because I wanted to send to you. It's more personal and wanted to send to you. Sometimes I wonder if I'm reading it wrong, but that's scuffed. It's more personal and intimate and intimidate. I assume it's supposed to be intimidating or intimate.
I'd read it for you, but like the thing is so small.
This comes from the depth of my core. I know we've had our differences and had a lot of things that didn't make sense. But one thing is clear and simple is that I don't want to lose what we have. The bond between a protecting cub and his succubus to protect him back and forth. I really like you. You make me feel a certain way that not many people have been able to achieve. Reason why I get possesses over you. We haven't known each other for a long time, but ever since we did, it was an instant connection. So I have no words to really describe it. Next to her, I feel like she's really going in this like it's role play, and that's a terrible sign. But I wanted to apologize.
Yes,
I've been weird. I have been going through a lot of stuff. I wanted you around since I am alone as fucking be super insecure because people, friends, families, a lot of people have been hurting me my whole life. I'm scared and broken. But when you were around, I feel happy and safe. Not having you around, it's like I fall into the void defenseless. The sucker is nothing without her. I'm going to assume his nickname. I wish you a very happy birthday. I do hope things will get better between us because I miss all of it. Every second with you. And I'm so proud of everything you've achieved until now and you will achieve as well. We shall grow bigger together. Let's fucking rule the internet. Break it.
Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Yeah, definitely manipulative, right? The terminology she's using role play terms, she's giving him nicknames, she's forcing this type of relationship onto him, like, oh yeah, we're gonna be together, we're gonna fix it, I wish you well, we're gonna rule the internet together. Like she's saying one thing and then saying another thing to try and get her way. And she's sugarcoating the whole thing. It's definitely manipulation.
Get even. Cringe. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to take it serious, but cringe. Okay, next to obviously a ego in here. It's a bit manipulative, seeing she kind of talks the same way to every single guy here. Different nicknames, slightly different love talks. But she tries to make them feel special, unique, and just imperative to her recovery and care, which is a very standard manipulation technique, annoyingly enough. It's called love bombing, where you pretty much just make someone feel incredibly important to every part of your love, life, and affection, so they feel like that you can't leave them. She's trying to make it so they won't leave her. And that is my interpretation of the situation. A lot of people's gonna be like, no, you can't just assume things. That's just my interpretation, guys, okay? Doesn't make it fact. I'm just interpreting. And that is I'm just coming from this point of view side that she has many guys she has done this to. And so that's what I'm picking up on here.
The receipts.
But let's continue on to this. These poor fellas, honestly. Okay, yeah, people before you, but don't give me time of fucking day. Oh my god. English is a skill sometimes. A skill I don't have. Like, you have, but you straight up said you couldn't date someone young because people labeling you as a cradle snatcher. How young? Internet has made me incredibly suspicious. I mean, I've dated younger guys. You told me you wouldn't date me because I was young and stuff. Like, I'm turning 22, Blooms. Okay, 22. Oh, yeah, sorry. Single Pringle A, are we dating? Did we have a talk about you being romantic? Ah, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna be romantic, but you told me distance. We wouldn't date. Go be the guardian of. It's all good, bud. I should have known you weren't serious when you said you had feelings for me. I was fucking serious, but you said distance. We couldn't, like, oh my lord, I'm guessing. I don't know the slang of today. Yeah, I swear. You got worried I got mad. Yes, I am entitled to special time with my special man for his special day. Your streaming is how long? An hour long last setup and about to have someone install a computer part. Oh, yeah? It used to be me. I've lost what's in there. See, I'm sorry, but like this has happened to a lot of VTubers I know, and a lot of viewers too, where they kind of get roped into these relationships where the person is like trying to control them, and they try and use it to their gain in the VTubing community. And I'm not trying to be like,
and it's sad because it works.
Lighthearted about this at all. Like, sometimes I crack jokes just to like cut the cringe, because some of the ways the talk is cringe, but also just like lighten the mood on this a little bit. Hey, Boot Blooms, you're a friend, so I hope I get your support. I'm talking to someone else as I'm trying to date them. I care for you as a friend, but the possessiveness may need to be turned down a bit, and you need to understand my feelings and become towards someone else, and I want to get to know to see if it works. Which is fair, seeing she is unavailable. Sure, all good, we're good. Just wanted you to know you are important, pat scub. I know, and I'm grateful because you're important to me as well. We have said we couldn't date because of distance. I want you in my life. You're my closest friend I have. There, you said it, closest friend. That's what I needed to hear. I will refrain from acting romantically on stream, fine, for content only. Stop mentioning stuff about content. I don't want to hear about content. Okay. In real life, I will behave like I do with friends, and I will stop being mad. Blooms, we said we could never be more than close friends because of the distance. I don't know why, but it feels like messages are deleted here, or maybe I'm just not, like, the flow seems slightly off in some of these. But I guess they like keep having the same argument, because it seems she's trying to get at something out of this argument. aka them staying interested. And as they say in this document, to keep him on the hook. And I feel like that is the best way to describe this. This is hooking, where they're trying to like keep just enough out there that they stay in their pocket. She says she won't date him, then gaslights him by saying it's obvious he isn't serious about her, and gets upset when he talks about wanting to see someone else. The date for this is 2022. The person was interviewed by a friend who wants to stay anonymous. Okay, if you hear the aircon, I'm sorry, but I did my best, but I'm dying here. I'm sorry if I was like a little bit concentrated near the end there. It's so hot. So I turned on the aircon because my brain's about to fry. Sending, I never knew she even had a boyfriend.
Make sure you open up the window. It's this German thing called Lüften. If you open up a window, it'll circle out the O2 that's in the room. So like if you're sitting in a room, especially if you're a content creator or you just talk a lot, if you open up the window, you'll be able to think more because that O2 is literally making you dumber. So yeah, fun fact, so people know.
Boyfriend, but I don't know whether they are jokes or not, but they seem pretty flirtatious. I want to say she tried to date me, but definitely something else. She tried to fuck you then. Well, she tried online stuff, but I was kind of dull until they just gave up. Yeah, so it seems like they just tried to accost them, if that makes sense. The person talked to Death Balloons 20 shows as well.
It makes sense.
I will say here, guys, getting accosted by someone who's cheating, yet cheating is bad, that is not abuse, though. Okay. So this is, like, a nothing one. I would say some of these, like, in a lot of, like, points, as we all know, some documents, some things should not be included because they're not relevant, and they actually take away from a point. It's like building a court case. You keep the important ones. Because, yeah, she cheated. cheated and stuff, but that's just like a moral thing. It's not really a cancellation thing, if that makes sense. But I guess they said this is more of a
I mean, people get canceled over morality, so I don't know.
warning than a cancellation. So it is supposed to be portrayed more like a warning to other people, and I guess it does back up the fact that she hits on a lot of people. The victim has unsolicited nudes sent to them repeatedly, even after being told not to do so. And this is like the bigger one that I see, that why I picked up this story, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough of how bad it is to send nudes unsolicited, and how bad it is to share nudes or take nudes or like unsolicited, or stuff like that. Like, or it's the same with unwanted touching, guys. It's in the same thing, and it's bad. And so I really wanted to read this part and talk about it, because I feel like a lot of guys don't realize that when women send you nudes too, that is also unwanted sexual action, you know what I mean, or abuse, however you want to word it. Because I hear too many guys going, well, I'd just be happy to get a vagina. No, it's bad. A lot
It's not that it's bad, it's just it's unsolicited. So like, if you're single and some girl does that, of course you'd be like, yeah, this is great. But if you had a relationship partner and then that happened and your partner was sitting next to you when you were using your phone, now all of a sudden you're going to have an issue in your relationship because somebody sent you an unsolicited nude, something you didn't ask for, you just got it. So yeah, it's always in the context, but yeah, unsolicited photos that are like that, of course, it's going to cause friction in any type of relationship. But if you're single, you probably don't care.
of people just don't want it, guys. Just like some women don't want dick pics, a lot of men don't want just random vajayjays, okay? It's the same. Don't send them unless you're asked. Desmond's excuse for her behavior is saying she didn't think a Vtuber would be bothered by receiving nudes. Hi, are you mad at me or something? I sent you pretty decent. Did I do something? I'm not mad, I'm just uncomfy. There've been a few times that you've just sent shit unsolicited when I said something to you about asking first. So again, I'm not mad, I'm just distant because I don't feel super comfy around you. I didn't want to say anything more on it because I've said something before and I was hoping it'd stop, but it didn't. You don't need to apologize or anything, just ask before you send stuff. Ideally, time will cure this uncomfortableness. Well, I'd still like to apologize because I didn't know about your discomfort and you should have voiced out instead of things bottling up. That feels a little blamey there, like they're blaming them for like, how dare you not tell me they shouldn't have sent you unsolicited news. You should have just not done it. It's like most people don't appreciate it, and they don't like it. Don't do it. Weird that the death balloon did that. But just be sure when you say sending unsolicited, do you mean pictures, venting? I like to know so that I don't make the same mistake. And ignorance again, I think it's unfair to punish me for when I don't know what I did wrong. Blaming them for being upset at them. We're just going for all the basic signs of like being abusive, aren't we? I'm not gonna beg or anything, but if you really think about me as a friend, then it would be really appreciated of you to explain the situation properly and give your friendship another try. Us, I suppose we're just gonna be fellow content creators that know each other. I mean, I'm not punishing you at all, just stating that my lack of confidence has made me less inclined to reach out. It isn't me trying to get revenge, justice, or whatever, it's just me prioritizing my comfort. And again, you don't have to be friends with anyone you don't want to do, even if you're just like, I don't get along with them as much as I think I could with other people. That's enough! You don't have to be friends with anyone, you don't have to like everyone.
Bro, not everybody's gonna like you. Like, that's just how it works.
And sometimes you're just like, you're cool, but like sometimes the jokes don't hit and I don't want to be around you. Sorry, homie. Like that's, it's as simple. It's not a punishment not hanging out with someone. That's just life. I did voice before not to send me lewd things out of the blue, and it did happen more times than the first. I voiced my discomfort about each time you didn't ask, you just kind of sent shit, which was what I voiced the discomfort about before. I'm pretty sure I voiced again at some point, but I could not. Either way, I did mention it before at least once. Each time I was hoping that you would just stop doing it and that I wouldn't have to confront you about it. I'm not really bottling anything up.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta confront her. Like, how do you expect somebody to know that you're upset? Nobody knows what's inside your head, right? Even if you ignore them, leave them on red, if you don't give a verbal solution to the issue, expect nothing to change. Like, and that just goes for everything in life, bro. Like, if you don't like tomatoes on your sandwich and you keep going to Subway and you never told them you don't like tomatoes, you just keep taking them off the sandwich every time you start eating, that doesn't mean they're not going to put tomatoes on your sandwich next time because you didn't tell them. You know, you got to let people know.
I'm not mad, I'm just not holding a grudge. I just have a feeling of discomfort, which is a lot of people when they find stuff discomfortable, they just avoid it. So they're like, I don't want to be friends with them anymore or be around them because they make me uncomfortable. That's not a punishment. That's just a decision people make. when they don't like a person. Fair enough, but I didn't think sending you pics that I put on Twitter would be such a probe. And you do from time to time tell me to check you're not so safe for work stuff. But anyways, I was picking a allude to be uncomfy for sexy pics, but I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. Good luck with your stuffs. I don't have anything for other times. She deleted sending shit and apologies for sending shit. Yeah. I don't know, it's like weird. If you had an OnlyFans, like, oh, when my stuff is public and you send it to a friend, does that make it okay? Well, you could have found it online. No, that's not how it works. This happening with a male person sending answers to a female person. I don't need to imagine that. I think both are equally wrong. I don't even have to, but I understand why he's iterating it like that. Because some people find it hard to imagine that some guy would be like, especially some other guys, not pointing fingers,
There's other
that
guys.
a man wouldn't want boobs, but a vagina? That's crazy talk. And I would have to say, like, there's a time and place for sexual things. And most of the time, random times aren't the time, you know? Most people don't want random people's bodily parts or fluids or whatever. And so I don't need to imagine it like that. But yes, guys, imagine if this was any other dynamic, you'd be like, that's gross, that's weird, what a weirdo, at the very least. So let's keep that same energy. And apparently this is the entire time they've been dating. Okay. Victim 5, this conversation in 2023, the victim in question had been with sexual through a voice chat. They also talked about doing sexual things at TwitchCon. He was aware that she wasn't single, but says she claimed to be in a rough relationship, a pattern that repeats from when she was leading me on. And I got a question that is kind of tied to a story, but he's like, hey, has there ever proves 30 with you? Yes. I figured it was in her nature not single, though. She did say she had a rough relationship. Could I bother you for a screenshot of that? I would say a lot of things like this, like he's aware that she wasn't single the entire time. Again, yeah, cheating's bad, but this is not really like connecting into the abuse. Like, I would prefer if this kind of stayed to the abuse, because being led on is not great, but it's not abusive.
Yeah.
It
just makes them look bad, but they already look bad. So there's no real need to. It's like if we're gonna convict somebody of murder, but then you add in, oh yeah, they also stole from the convenience store last week. Like, cool.
being misled. It's in the manipulated thing, so yeah, I will skip over that one because it just seems to be he knew she had a boyfriend and they mutually cheated on that boyfriend together. X quotes. As for details, no details on the boyfriend, anything he stated hasn't had sex in a while and they've been kind of distant. Yeah, normal justifications for people like this where they try and justify their cheating, which is gross, but yeah. So this, I would say this document does have a few good points onto the fact of being like manipulations, lying, which I think is a good thing to point out, and it's good to make your fellow people aware, so I will underline this. This is not supposed to be a cancellation. I would say the unsolicited nudes and stuff is way more serious. Slash seem to be using like VTubing as a dating service and also just using these men to probably push their career a bit here. Let's be real, seeing they keep focusing back around on content creation, bit cringe. But I would say like some of the parts where like people are, so she had a boyfriend and I cheated with her. It's like, yeah, you were aware of cheating then. That's not manipulation. You just made a bad decision to be with someone because you knew they had a boyfriend and you still went out with them or you did sexual things with them. Because realistically, we don't have any clue what her relationship is at all, so we can't determine any of that. But as we know, a bad relationship is
like we call it cheating. I mean, they might call it an open relationship, so who knows?
No reason cheat. Ideally, you should leave. But I think should be focused on more is the people like completely being lied to, misled, and sent unsolicited pictures and sexual content. Would you say in there? Is it just you've been misled, you've been coerced, or would you say it's in there? I'm not gonna 100% point like this is 100% is, because I feel like it's like a road, right? Like at some point you're there, you're at abuse, and before that you've been misled, if that makes sense. But I would say it is good at the very least to know this information so no one else falls for their lies, no matter what it is here. No matter where it lays on the manipulation to extreme abuse scale, it is a good thing that this information is out about this person so no one else falls prey to it. You know, and I'm happy to have a discussion in the comments about it because I'm always like willing to like have people's brains picked on this so I can better understand. And it's like, you know what? I didn't even think about that. You guys are right. But let's go on to the next part. Holy crap, that was long. Okay, we're gonna go over to her VOD. I'm gonna highlight some of the things here and like talk about it a bit in here. This has gone on far longer than I thought. My
Bro.
bad here.
Yeah, but full disclosure,
All
if
right.
you see on the post, if you want to dig around and look at that or whatever, but if you see comments under Darcian, that's me. I just don't use social media. All
Yeah,
right,
he does
so
not use Twitter. He does not use Twitter, and he was just trying to, like, defend his partner.
yeah, and I am not. Look, I don't exist online. All right, and yeah, I was just trying. I guess it was the wrong move because you shouldn't fuel the fire, but I was just mad about false accusations like that. And just, I just had to say my piece. That's it. But then I was called an alt account that Blooms made to respond to
Yeah,
those
so
things.
like, oh, I
So
created an account just to reply for myself. Dude, if I but yes, this whole matter is about like this person going ahead and saying that I am manipulative. I've used them
Well, you are
for
manipulative.
advantages and apparently send unsolicited or like flirting and pictures and whatnot, flirting
You
and
notice
pictures and
you notice how she doesn't want to say what it actually was that she sent. You notice how she's tiptoeing around and she keeps stuttering over her words. Yeah, she doesn't want to let out too much because it makes her sound bad. Because what she did is bad.
whatnot.
yeah,
Crazy.
so just for full context, for those calling me a cuck, right? Because you don't have the context. And I mean, I didn't want to slap Blooms's and I private life in front of everyone, but since the allegations are so dire and it's no joke, I guess we just have to say it how it is, right? We
Yes.
just gotta. What is supposed to be private needs to be wide in the open now. So, yes,
That's
Blooms
sad.
has had a boyfriend, me, for a long, long time. Our relationship had a lot of ups and downs, especially at the beginning of last year and the year before, where we couldn't, like, at some point it was difficult to make it work because we are two
Yeah.
difficult people. We have our own, like, issues and all that. And to be honest, at some point, just like in regular relationships, things go bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
that's true.
it's not.
like it takes time to like be sure of like whether you want to end up with this person or not. There is a lot of times like people start dating and even after 10 years then realize that they are not made for each other and stuff like that, right?
I mean, yeah, that's when you guys usually have that conversation, but you were over here talking to other guys while trying to figure that out, which definitely did not help you figure that out. So, yeah, sure, it's true. Definitely. There are people that go have a relationship, they'll have children, the children grow up, the children leave the house, and then they're looking at each other like, what's next? Nothing's next. Well, let's separate. That's one thing versus, I don't know if I want to be with this person. Let me see if I can find another guy that can support me. And then if I can find him, then I will leave this partner. Those are two different things.
And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So we've
Exactly.
had our rough patches where we had ups and downs, where we were like, maybe this is not working out. Maybe we should see other people and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Blooms did
And then what happened?
message a few other people when we had this rough patch. I
Okay.
messaged an ex of mine, which I'm not proud of. Of course,
Okay.
thankfully, this didn't go anywhere because why would you ever message an ex? That is the dumbest thing you could do. But anyway,
Don't beat yourself up, bro. Like, it's an ex, but at the same time, at one point in time, they weren't an ex. They were somebody that you were with, and you were most likely happy with them. So don't get too down and bad about it.
right? Like it happens, ups and downs. If you look at all the screenshots from the post, those date back from last year or the year before or whatever, right? When we had this pretty difficult rough patch of getting to live together and understand each other. And what the people who read this without any context think is that I knew that she was messaging other people and I was all right with it. Which
That's
is,
a
I
different
didn't know,
context.
she didn't know I was, but at this point we were barely talking too, because that's how bad it was at that point in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have a time to talk it out. And then in the middle of last year, we had a long talk about what we wanted and all that, and we just made things good. And
Yeah.
if you notice on the posts, nothing happened or nothing is posted, quote unquote, for this year or the other half of last year.
Yeah, so
So
because we've talked, it's like the last like drama that they screenshotted was when before we went on.
You know what the shitty part is because like for them, they're just like, oh yeah, but what we did, we're having issues in our relationship, and they're like wiping their slate clean. But you fail to realize that you involved other people into your messy relationship. You were talking to other people, and these other people have their own separate lives. What I hear right now is a lot of ego, a lot of us, but you're not even putting in consideration the people that you hurt, the people that you let on. You call it drama, you try and get rid of it because it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. We have our relationship, blah, blah, blah. We have our issues. Yeah, but your issues affected other human beings. And I think that's what they fail to realize. They're too much in their own ego.
Their Europe trip.
yeah,
And this is where we actually had a very serious talk. And we decided what was the next move of our relationship. So
you're
sometimes you break and you come back together and stuff like that. So instead of just like, I am
What
glad
does
the
that have
issue
to do
of you
with the
being
other people?
okay, but a lot of people felt manipulated sexually for favors like free art. The thing of the free art, I don't understand. Like it was talked about, and a lot of the thing were like I paid for it. For example, I had a situation last year with certain artists, and they gave me a free art by their own willing.
just so you guys know, we're just talking about it all bit by bit. All right. We see your
Yeah,
questions as well
I
about
will
the
get
leading
through.
people and all that. We'll get to that. Don't worry.
Yes.
I mean, she'll
Well, let's go ahead and get to that then.
relationship from the first message to the last. You don't know how the interaction began. It's all hearsay. So let's just keep an open mind here and understand that this could literally anyone could get a screenshot of messages that they're not too proud of because we all had that.
And like this has been like I
Bro, it doesn't matter about the screenshot. Like, it's the context behind them, the context behind all the screenshots. Like, all of these things lined up back to back with different people. That's called a pattern. She has a pattern, she has a track record, right? And obviously, look, I don't want to be the one to be that guy, but I have to be that guy. Like, you two are dating. So obviously you have a conflict of interest, bro. This is your girlfriend. So of course you're gonna want to defend your girlfriend. Look, I am the guy to give people benefit of the doubts, but everything that I've heard so far has not. I don't hear any type of remorse or apology. What I hear is somebody trying to get out from being outed because they did a lot of messed up stuff. If you would have just came out and just said like, yeah, I was going through issues, but on top of that, I was talking to other people and that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. We'd be having a different conversation right now. But I'm gonna let them continue. I'm gonna let them continue. I'm not gonna grill them too much. Let's see what they have to say.
had like this hate group for quite a long time. Like they've been like going around asking people whether we had voila. They've been asking people whether they've interacted with me and how was it. First of all, I'm a Vtuber, so I post sexy stuff. As well as I am a succubus, so flirtatious by nature. It is a persona. I am, well, naturally, even IRL, very flirtatious as person. And if you were not okay, let's say you and I were talking, right? And you did not like me being flirtatious, you could have just said it at the very start. Look, I'm
And I'll give her that. Definitely. Like I already said it earlier. Like the guy did not say he didn't like the messages. He was just like, I'm uncomfortable, but he didn't let it be known that he was uncomfortable. So yeah, I can give her that. Like 100%. That's real.
not okay with that. I'm taken
That's
or
real.
whatever. Like it takes two to tango. It's not just one person to be blamed in this. It's a two
Of
people
course.
thing, and things could have just been discussed and talked through because
And let it
we're
go.
adults. Instead of like just ghosting, blocking, and then like after 2 years or many years or whatever, just going ahead and be like, hey, this, she's wrong and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, that is absolutely true. But again, pattern, a track record. It wasn't just one person, it was multiple people. So, like, is this a case of just multiple people just blocking and ghosting because they have no backbone? They don't have the ability to let you know that they're not interested? Because I saw one guy talking about he wanted you to fix your relationship with this guy, right? What about him?
Also, real quick, I saw one message by Dark Sovereign about the fact that our relationship was undisclosed. But does that mean that every single person online, because look, let's be honest here, Blooms plays a succubus online. How interesting would it be if, like, I'm just saying, she's a loot tuber. It's less interesting if she has
You know who else is a lewd tuber and lets their relationship be known and still has an amazing following? Vexoria the Sun Eater, the snake with the biggest booba in all of lewd tubing. She has let her relationship be known and she is not facing any issues. So that immediately goes out of the window because we have an example.
a boyfriend, right? And also, if you get famous online, do you really have to say your whole life how it is? Is that like, are you supposed to be public property and say everything that's going on in your life?
When you become famous, bro, you lose anonymity. That's the shitty part about becoming famous. And every famous person knows this. And it sucks, but it is what it is. You don't have to, of course, put your whole life out there. Not everybody needs to know every single detail, right? But unless you want stuff like this to happen, you know what this is called? This is called a scandal, right? When you're famous and people find out about your stuff because you're not letting people know, it's a scandal. It can ruin a career. And if anything, it can ruin your life. So, should you do it? It's up to the individual, but it's probably good advice to at least let it be known that, yeah, you have a boyfriend. At least. Because if not, things can get bad, right? Now it's just oh, messages released, right? If she was to become super famous, there could be some guys that are legitimately jealous of you and they would end up doing something crazy like in the idol industry. Because that's what happens when you become famous. People want to get all in your business because they idolize you and they love you so much that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get to you. And if they don't know you have a boyfriend, well, it can turn sour real quick. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't make the rules of what fame is. I don't make the rules of how people interact with uh, uh, internet celebrities. But it's just the world that we live in, and you just gotta roll with the punches.
Life, who you're related to, who you're talking to, who you're friends with, what you're like. It's it's not everyone's business. She's just doing entertainment, playing video games for people.
He's trying to downplay it, but look at the situation you're in, and she just plays video games. Okay,
And they keep
People don't need to
saying
know
they
all
keep
that.
saying like abuse. Like how is it abuse if both people were interested into each other and there was a chemistry between them?
because you sent them stuff and they weren't comfortable with it. Bro, they're downplaying. It's crazy.
How is that abuse?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
Like
I
crazy.
mean,
I don't understand this part.
Or maybe she really just doesn't understand. And if you don't understand, hey, ignorance does not mean you're above the law.
How is that
yeah.
abuse? I'm not saying
So
like
yeah,
I did not break their heart by telling them I'm not interested or like if I cut things like a lot of them are like they either they ghosted me or we stopped things or we just stayed friends. Well, supposedly friends. So
and
Look, man, like all of this would have been cleared up if you literally just said, yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I messed up when I did that and it won't happen again. Like that's literally all people have to say. And like 9 out of 10 people will be like, okay, they apologize and they will move on. Literally, like we saw a video about a famous dude who cheated on his wife with a prawn star, and he said it to his fans that he had over like what 80,000 people watching the stream at the time, and they accepted his apology, and they gave him gifts, and they donated to him. Right, bro? Just say you're sorry, and a lot of people will be like, okay,
also, sure, okay. In a way, devil's advocate, right? You hurt a few people's feelings by flirting with them, and that led to nothing. And you made them feel special for a while, and all that. They were back and forths, and all that. Okay. Also, like, I'm just saying that as someone who is human, and we've all had like those weird conversations flirting with other people, right? But Like, uh, personally, me as someone who tries to spend as little time online as possible, why you don't want to start a witch hunt, but why are you starting a witch hunt? Like,
Oh, I feel like I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I wanted to hear more of what he had to say. To be honest, like out of all the people that are involved in the story, man, the boyfriend, he is definitely the guy that he's in it because that's his partner. But he seems like somebody that has a level head, and I'm interested to hear what he has to say on the matter or on the story. Did she say there was a part two? A part two is crazy, or did she not make a part two? I don't know, but I feel like the story literally just got cut off early, like super early. But yeah, if you guys like have the bot or something, link it in the description. Join the Discord, drop it in the video request, and we'll check out the part two, the rest of the scandal. Like, and that's what it is. It's a scandal. Like, do you have to, as somebody that is getting popularity online, announce your private life? You don't have to announce all of it, but there are definitely some key things that you might want to let your fan base know. You don't necessarily got to let the whole public know, but you should at least let your fan base know. Like, example, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you don't got to tweet it because that's letting the public know. You can have a stream and tag it to your stream because now you're letting your community know. Point blank simple. And then if the public finds out and the public gets crazy, well, your community already knows, and your community usually has your back because they're your community. But yeah, honestly, it's a messy situation that got thrown out to the public, and I feel for everybody involved because it doesn't have to be it didn't have to be dragged out here, and all it took was some communication. All it took was communication, and communication on the other guy's part, because he was quiet. He should have said he didn't feel okay with the nudes. He should have said that, right? That would have ended that issue right there. On the succubus part, her communicating with the community about the boyfriend, that would have helped a lot of things as well. But I can't blame her because apparently she is secretly just trying to leave her boyfriend so she can find somebody else. But that's just my perspective, right? But how else can you look at it? It's like two people are dating, but one person is going behind the other person's back to find somebody else. Like, what else does that look like? I mean, you tell me, because it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look like something you can just brush off like, oh yeah, we were having issues in our relationship, but it's no problem, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, it's no big deal because she didn't find somebody better, my guy. If she would have found somebody better, your ass wouldn't be on here talking about that. You probably wouldn't even be here right now. She would have been with him, right? Because that's how some women work legitimately, right? And I get it, she's a succubus, right? She's very flirtatious, she's super sexual online, she's a lewd tuber, right? I have nothing against people that are openly sexual. There's a difference between being openly sexual, right? Being non-monogamous and being public about this information versus being monogamous and being overtly sexual to the public. Like, these are two different things, and you're hiding your monogamy, right? That's really the big issue, because if you're non-monogamous and you let people know, well, then nobody really has the right to be upset about whatever you're doing. Like, besides, like, yeah, it's manipulative, but you're non-monogamous, right? So they should expect you to talk to other people and send nudes to other people because you're a non-monogamous. So yeah, that's really the big issue, communication. And you're lying about your relationship status, and you're lying about how you are online. Like, yeah, it's okay to be overtly sexual online, right? Especially if you're a VTuber, right? You're not really doing anything, but when you start sending nudes to people and you're starting to use these love bombings and these manipulative tactics to multiple people while having a boyfriend, how could you not sit and think, maybe I do have an issue? Only if you had a big ass ego could you think something like that. So yeah, definitely shame on you for doing such a thing. Those guys got led on. And for what? It's crazy. But yeah, they also should have said something. I agree. You guys are all in the wrong. Congratulations. Nobody wins. The public found out. That's a scandal. Be more open and be more honest with your relationships. That's all the advice I got. It's your boy KhunShawn. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.